In Class 3, Room Number 2, students are talking among themselves about the awakening assessment scheduled for tomorrow. All of them are extremely nervous, as they have no idea what kind of talent they might awaken. Suddenly, one student tries to wake up his friend. Emo opens his eyes and finds himself sitting in the classroom, looking around in confusion. Once he becomes fully conscious, he is shocked and wonders where he is. The student who tried to wake him up is startled by Mo's sudden reaction. At that moment, memories begin flooding into Mo's mind. He comes to realize that this planet is called Blue Star, and on the surface, it is not much different from Earth. However, a catastrophic event that occurred 100 years ago completely changed everything. Millions of monsters appeared and attacked, resulting in countless human casualties. Fortunately, humans in this world are born with unique and extraordinary talents. As long as they pass the awakening trial and successfully change their profession, they can resist the monster threats. Because of this, the entire world is focused on cultivating awakened individuals, who naturally become the elite of society. As these memories settle in, the black-haired student realizes that this world closely resembles the setting of a game he once played, called Genesis. Still confused, Emo looks at his hands, slowly realizing that he has crossed over into a world where the game he once played has merged with reality. Back in the game, he had defeated countless players and was only one step away from becoming the top player of all time. Even though he had reached level 999, skill cooldowns and damage limits prevented him from handling the final boss's endless summoning of minions. Completely exhausted from the battle, he was eventually overwhelmed and lost. In frustration, he slammed his keyboard, claiming that he had been just one step away from reaching the summit like a god. In the very next moment, he finds himself in this world, regaining consciousness after being slapped on the back by another student, who asks whether Emo really is time to be daydreaming. Emo looks at him and realizes that it is Li Hong. Overjoyed, Emo grabs Hong and happily comments that he never expected Hong to cross over as well. Hong, however, is confused by this remark and responds that even at a time like this, Emo is still joking around. Clearly worried, Hong scratches his head and says that even the smartest students are under serious pressure. If they are this anxious, he wonders how someone like him is supposed to cope. Emo leans back and reflects that Hong's appearance and personality are almost identical to his previous life, and that interpersonal relationships and living environments in both worlds are surprisingly similar. Hong then hugs Emo and admits that he is extremely nervous because the awakening talent is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. He adds that if he fails tomorrow's school assessment, his father will be extremely disappointed and angry. While Hong is talking, Emo drifts into his thoughts. In the game Genesis, talent awakening could only be triggered by successfully touching the awakening stone in the novice realm. Hong then leans in and whispers to Emo that he is facing a major personal crisis tomorrow and needs Mo's help. Hearing this, Emo asks him to explain exactly how he expects him to help. Hong smiles and says that his request is simple. He just wants to awaken his talent smoothly, which would be enough to satisfy his father. Since Emo has always ranked in the top 3 of their class and is known for having good ideas, Hong asks him to lend a hand at the last moment. Emo understands that games are games and reality is reality. Even if his gaming experience and skills remain intact, he is not certain how deeply this world is connected to Genesis. To find out, he knows he must investigate it himself. Seeing Emo deep in thought, Hong asks whether he has come up with a solution. Emo stands up with a confident smile and tells Hong not to worry, explaining that he plans to go to the secret realm first to think of a solution. Hearing this, Hong becomes very happy, wishes Emo good luck, and promises to treat him to meals for an entire year if he succeeds. Emo finally arrives at the training auditorium. On one of the walls, there is a portal from which students are emerging while chatting with one another. A male and a female student nearby are discussing their strategy. The male believes they should deal with the weaker opponents first, while the girl disagrees, stating that it would consume too much energy if they appear. Ignoring their conversation, Emo focuses on the portal, standing silently as he realizes that this is also the entrance. Emo smiles, deciding to see what the world looks like when the game and reality are fused together. He steps into the portal, and after walking forward, he finds himself in a bright, sunny area. Judging by the terrain, Imo immediately recognizes it as the newbie village from the game Genesis, and it is a perfect replica. Suddenly, a system panel appears, informing Imo that the system has detected the host and that the binding of the transformation system is in progress. As the synchronization begins, Imo is left completely shocked. Once the transformation is complete, the system notifies him that the binding has been successful and that the transformation system is currently at level 1. At this level, it can transform 2 active skills that meet specific conditions into a new passive skill. The strength of the passive skill is influenced by the character's attributes. Imo is stunned by this revelation, realizing that the system can actually convert active skills into passive ones. Imo quickly understands that if this world truly mirrors Genesis, then this system is incredibly powerful. In Genesis, 99% of skills are active skills, all of which have cooldown limits. Because of this, skills cannot be triggered continuously, making it easy for opponents to find openings and counterattack during combat. Passive skills, on the other hand, remain permanently active without cooldown restrictions and only trigger under certain conditions. As their level increases, the trigger probability rises dramatically, which is why passive skills are extremely rare. In Mo's previous life, reaching the peak was impossible due to skill cooldown restrictions. However, with this transformation system, he feels that he may finally be able to make up for those regrets. At that moment, another system window appears, instructing Imo to select the skill he wishes to transform. After reviewing the available skill list, Imo chooses the wave/skill. The system confirms that Imo has acquired the wave/skill, and a sword suddenly appears in his hand. Currently, wave/ is at level 1 and allows the user to strike enemies in front with a powerful upward slash, releasing a wave that delivers multiple hits to targets within 3 meters. After completing the transformation, the system informs Imo that the passive conversion is successful. Wave/ is now a passive skill with a 30% chance to activate automatically when attacking. When triggered, wave/ transforms into a sword energy attack that receives an additional 1.5 times damage bonus based on strength attributes, and the user becomes briefly immune to damage for 0.2 seconds. After reading the description, Imo swings the sword a few times, commenting that the skill not only improved the attack method but also added bonus damage values, which he finds very satisfying. While he is momentarily lost in thought, a monster suddenly appears nearby. Imo notices that it is a level 3 Minotaur and smiles, recognizing it as one of the more challenging monsters in the training ground. The Minotaur enters an enraged state and charges toward Imo, presenting a perfect opportunity for real combat practice. Imo grips his sword and launches an attack, but after being struck, the Minotaur crashes into a large stone and emerges completely unharmed. The Minotaur charges again with impressive speed and power, forcing Imo to retreat while dodging its attacks. Since Imo is only level 1, he quickly realizes that defeating the Minotaur through brute force alone is impossible. Spotting an opening, the Minotaur swings its weapon at Imo, making him anxious. Imo attempts to block the attack with his sword, but the blade shatters instantly under the impact. At that critical moment, a system panel appears, informing Imo that wave/'s passive effect has been triggered, granting him brief invincibility for 0.2 seconds. Imo is shocked as he realizes that blocking the attack triggered the passive ability. Additionally, the forced activation of wave/ applies the 1.5 times damage bonus. Without hesitation, Imo releases the newly empowered wave/ and overwhelms the Minotaur in a single decisive strike. The monster collapses and dissipates on the spot. Imo smiles as he looks at his hand, realizing that transforming wave/ into a passive skill not only eliminated cooldown limitations, but also introduced an entirely new damage system. This completely resolves the issue that once prevented him from reaching the summit in his previous life. Imo clenches his fists, confident that this time, he can make up for past regrets and truly ascend to the highest peak. After that, Imo spends some time hunting monsters and successfully defeats a group of flying creatures. Looking at his broken sword, Imo appears visibly exhausted. In the novice realm, he trains for several hours, gradually regaining the combat instincts and experience from his previous life. As long as Mo knows which secret realm the assessment will take place in tomorrow, helping Hong awaken his talent will not be difficult at all. Soon after, a system window appears, asking Mo to select the second passive skill for transformation. Mo carefully considers his choice while examining the interface. In the early stages, beginners are often defeated by monsters due to insufficient attack power and long skill cooldown times. Since Mo's first transformed skill focuses on offense, he decides that the second skill should address cooldown efficiency. As a result, Mo acquires the skill Weapon Switch, which starts at level 1 and reduces weapon switching cooldown time by 30% for 30 seconds after activation. Moments later, Mo's body begins to glow with mana as the passive transformation is completed. The Weapon Switch skill is now permanently passive, reducing the cooldown time for switching all weapons by 30%. Mo opens his inventory and discovers several basic novice weapons stored in his backpack. Combined with the passive Weapon Switch skill, he can now switch weapons rapidly during combat. Mo's full name is Chung Qianma. He is currently level 1. His race is Inzu, and his attributes, strength, agility, spirit, and constitution, are all at level 20. His combat power rating stands at 500. Mo smiles with satisfaction, realizing that the core issue of weapon switch cooldowns has been fully resolved. This gives early-stage combat an overwhelming advantage, almost like having a built-in boost. With everything prepared, Mo decides to return to the real world and wait for the assessment scheduled for the next day. The following day, all the students gather for the assessment. Many of them arrive fully prepared, with their inventories stocked with potions. Hong rushes over to Mo and excitedly tells him that he followed Mo's advice and had his father use his connections to obtain the map for today's assessment. After taking the map, Mo turns to Hong and reminds him to keep his voice down unless he wants everyone to know how the map was acquired. Hong immediately starts sweating, covers his mouth, and repeatedly apologizes, explaining that he was simply too excited and promises to keep a low profile. Mo opens the map and realizes that the assessment will take place in the Flame-Crack secret realm. Hong adds that he heard this realm was personally chosen by Professor Liu, whose requirements are extremely strict, meaning the difficulty is likely to be higher than usual. Mo, however, feels relieved because he remembers that most monsters in the Flame-Crack secret realm range from level 3 to level 10, which is manageable. Mo then asks Hong about the highest level elite monster he can currently challenge. Hong counts on his fingers and admits that he can barely handle level 5 monsters at full strength. Mo is surprised by this and bluntly tells Hong that relying on shortcuts alone will not be enough. While they are still talking, another student suddenly interrupts and mockingly asks Hong whether he plans to rely on his wealth again. The speaker is Mao Feng, a delinquent-looking student from the neighboring class who also comes from a wealthy family. Feng mocks Hong and suggests that he should simply give up on the examination, warning that otherwise he might end up last and embarrass his father. Enraged, Hong steps forward, ready to confront Feng, but Mo quickly stops him and tells him to calm down. Hong shouts back, insisting that Mo not interfere. Feng moves closer and continues provoking Hong, claiming that Mo is smarter because he knows that Hong stands no chance against him. At that moment, Mo lightly kicks Feng's foot, causing him to lose balance and fall to the ground. Mo laughs calmly and comments that Feng does not need to be so formal when apologizing. Furious, Feng jumps back up and demands to know whether Mo is looking for trouble, throwing a punch toward him. Mo effortlessly blocks the attack, shocking Feng, who begins to wonder how Mo could be so strong. Mo then calmly proposes a bet. He suggests that Hong's examination results will be better than Feng's. Hearing this, Feng and his two companions burst into laughter. Confident of victory, Feng agrees to the bet but insists on setting the stakes himself. He declares that the loser must perform a highly embarrassing public forfeit and acknowledge the winner's superiority. Mo accepts the terms without hesitation, while Hong remains silent, clearly worried. The surrounding students react with shock and amusement, laughing at the idea of Hong challenging Feng, who is known as one of the top performers. To them, the outcome seems obvious, as the gap between the two appears insurmountable. Hong nervously asks Mo what he is thinking, but Mo simply tells him to trust him. Overwhelmed, Hong sinks to the ground in despair, hitting his head lightly and lamenting that he only wanted to pass the assessment, show off to his father, and earn some extra allowance. At that moment, he feels as though Mo has set him up. Mo grabs Hong, pulls him back to his feet, and tells him to listen carefully. He whispers his full plan into Hong's ear. After hearing it, Hong asks if it is truly possible, and Mo confirms it with confidence. Instantly, Hong's expression changes to excitement, and he shouts joyfully, declaring that he will make Feng publicly admit defeat by the end of the examination. The professor coughs to draw the students' attention and announces that the assessment has officially begun. He introduces himself as Professor Zhang Lei, a second-tier awakener, and instructs the students to enter the teleportation points one by one. Before stepping into the portal, Hong tells Mo to wait and watch his performance. Shortly after, Mo also enters the teleportation portal and finds himself inside the flame-cracked secret realm. Mo recalls that the map is centered around a massive volcano with intense heat and flowing lava throughout the area. The mana creatures inhabiting the realm are primarily hostile beastmen and devils. After climbing the treacherous mountain paths, challengers can encounter the secret realm boss, Jalan, at the summit. Upon entering the realm, Mo feels a wave of nostalgia, as it has been a long time since he last cleared a rookie-level map. Almost immediately, several green orcs appear nearby. They are followers of the Burning Blade and are only level 2. The orcs quickly notice Mo and charge toward him. Mo dodges their initial attack. As the green orcs launch their next attack, Mo leaps into the air to evade them and lands on one of the orcs' faces, startling the others. Mo is amazed by the conversion ability, as he can now precisely control every inch of his muscles. His body moves as smoothly as it did when he played the game in his previous life. Mo taunts the green orcs, inviting them to attack together. Enraged, the green orcs charge once more, but this time Mo easily avoids their attacks. He deliberately lures them into a straight line, planning to finish them in a single motion. Mo darts past the orcs, slipping behind them. As they turn around, they line up perfectly. Seizing the opportunity, Mo uses the default side tackle skill, launching them into the air. He quickly stabilizes himself and activates the Wave Slash skill. As soon as Wave Slash is triggered, its passive effect activates almost instantly. Mo takes advantage of this opening and defeats all 5 orcs in one decisive sequence. During the encounter, Mo realizes that the passive skill also cancels attack backlash. The orcs collapse to the ground as Mo walks forward, and the system notifies him that due to the special finishing actions, the experience gained has increased by 50%. As a result, Mo receives 250 experience points. The system then congratulates Mo on reaching level 3 and awards him 8 free attribute points. Mo clenches his fists, realizing that special techniques can earn additional experience. Not only that, defeating 5 green orcs allowed him to level up twice. With renewed excitement, Mo continues exploring the secret realm. Equipped with beginner-level skills and weapons, he finds this experience far more thrilling than playing Genesis on a computer. Meanwhile, in the outside world, the students watching are stunned when one name suddenly begins climbing rapidly up the scoreboard, Mo's. Several students recognize him as the one who stood up to Feng earlier. Within just 5 minutes of entering the realm, Mo has already leveled up twice and claimed first place. A brown-haired student excitedly shouts that a hidden genius has appeared in their school, admitting that he had never heard of Mo before. Even Professor Lei watches with growing interest, curious to see what other surprises student Mo might reveal next. Meanwhile, in the flame-cracked secret realm, Mo continues exploring to find more monsters. Suddenly, he notices something and quickly hides behind some rocks. He spots the Shadow Warlock monsters, level 2 elementary enemies accompanied by hounds. Mo recalls a bug in the Shadow Warlock's magic from Genesis. If he can exploit it, he could bypass fighting monsters individually and face a large wave all at once. Mo decides to try it, realizing it could make leveling up significantly easier. Using his basic equipment, the rope gun, Mo climbs to a higher vantage point on a large cliff. Then, he uses Shuriken to target one of the Shadow Warlocks. The attack lands successfully, and the Shadow Warlocks enter battle mode. They notice Mo and begin casting their Shadow Arrow skill. Anticipating this, Mo hides behind the rocks. Shadow Warlocks, being low level, only have Shadow Arrow and Summon Hound spells. With no visible enemies in their field of view, the Shadow Warlocks cancel the skill activation and return to normal mode. Mo has successfully executed a perfect vision jam, ensuring that the Shadow Warlocks cannot attack him, just as he expected, since spells like Shadow Arrow cannot hit targets outside the caster's line of sight. Next, Mo moves to step 2. He throws 6 shuriken to eliminate all the hounds the Shadow Warlocks have summoned. Then comes the most interesting part of the bug. The Summon Hound skill has a higher priority than Shadow Arrow. As a result, the Shadow Warlocks begin summoning hounds continuously. Even if they run out of mana, the skill repeats once their mana is restored. Mo is thrilled. This bug allows him to generate a massive number of hounds. All he has to do is kill the Shadow Warlocks, and the hounds will die alongside them, granting him a huge amount of experience from hundreds of hounds. Satisfied, Mo lies down, deciding to rest before finishing the job. 8 hours pass. In the human world, the scoreboard has shifted dramatically. Mo is no longer in first place. Sun Ku, now level 9, has taken the top spot. Feng sits at 18th, while Hong is at 498. A black-haired student notices Luo Jingjing, who was the first to change class to Gunner. Even though she was second earlier, she is now the first to reach level 10. Sun Ku has also become a swordsman. Spectators wonder if Sun Ku will be able to defeat the final boss Saran and reach the Awakening Stone. The top 10 positions are now entirely occupied by rocket-class students, prompting others to express their desire to join next year's placement exam. Standing on stage, Professor Lei observes the emerging outstanding students, but wonders about Mo. He checks Mo's rank and is shocked to see him at 659, the very last place. A brown-haired student mocks Mo, saying he was like a blind cat at the start who somehow stole first place. A yellow-haired girl laughs, agreeing that no true genius in the third year can remain undiscovered for long. Professor Lei calculates that the secret realm lasts only 12 hours. Based on Mo's current leveling speed, he doubts Mo will reach level 6, let alone defeat the final boss Saran and awaken his talent. Only 4 hours remain in the examination. Suddenly, one of the teachers calls everyone's attention to the last place position on the scoreboard, which has just started moving. Even Professor Lei is startled as Mo rapidly climbs the ranks. He wonders, in great shock, how Mo is achieving this. Rewinding back 1 minute, Mo wakes from his nap and surveys the Shadow Warlocks, realizing they have already summoned an enormous number of hounds. There are around 400 hounds, so Mo stands up, summons his basic equipment, the green machine gun, and smiles as he prepares to attack the Shadow Warlocks, curious to see how many levels he can gain from this massive wave. Mo defeats all 3 Shadow Warlocks, and as they fall, all the Shadow Hounds die alongside them. Mo levels up rapidly, thinking that this method of mass combat is far superior to fighting enemies one by one, which is exhausting. The system congratulates Mo, notifying him that Wave Slash has leveled up to level 2. Now, there is a 35% chance for Wave Slash to trigger. When activated, the skill transforms into Sword Energy, attacking the enemy with damage equal to 16 times Mo's strength attribute, and grants invincibility for 0.3 seconds. Additionally, Mo's weapon switch passive has leveled up to level 2, permanently reducing all weapon switching cooldowns by 40%. Mo realizes that as his level increases, his passives also upgrade. He comments on the strength of passive growth and wonders if there will be a skill that triggers at 100% once his level is higher. Back at the school, the scoreboard shows Mo has reached level 13. Everyone is shocked. Within just 1 minute, Mo has risen 10 levels from the very bottom. Some students call him a monster, claiming he will surely rank among the top 3 nationwide at level 13. Even last year's students are amazed by Mo's performance, having never witnessed anything so extraordinary, and they wonder who he truly is. Professor Zhao Erlong, Mo's homeroom teacher, announces proudly that Mo is his student. However, Professor Erlong becomes shocked when he senses immense power and turns to find Professor Lei standing there, causing him to panic. Nervously, Erlong asks about the situation, only for Professor Lei to shout at him, questioning how he could fail to report such an outstanding candidate in advance. Professor Erlong immediately bows and apologizes. Professor Lei comments that he must be getting old, having misjudged Mo's talent, and now declares that Mo possesses the strongest talent the Jiangxing Academy has seen since its founding. Meanwhile, in the flame-cracked secret realm, the system congratulates Mo on reaching level 13. Since reaching level 10 allows a class change, the system prompts him to select a new class. Mo pauses, reflecting on his choice. Even though he had reached the top of Genesis in his previous life and obtained God-level titles in all classes, there is one path he has never walked, the freelancer class. This special, non-transferable class allows its user to equip any equipment without restrictions, maximizing the diversity of equipment and attribute combinations with nearly unlimited possibilities. It also enables perfect attribute matching at any time based on playstyle. Its major drawback is insufficient damage, as most skills remain at beginner level due to the inability to change class, making it effective only in the early stages. However, with Mo's strong passive system, the critical weakness of the freelancer class is fully compensated, allowing him to unleash its true power. After selecting the freelancer class, the system informs Mo that, since he has never allocated his free attributes, they will automatically bind to his hidden class, Spellbinder. The system begins processing the binding, and once complete, blackish mana flows through Mo's body. All the students, and even the teachers, fall into chaos after seeing that Mo has chosen the freelancer class. Most of them believe that he has wasted his talent by selecting what they consider a worthless class. Professor Lei is also extremely angry and angrily questions Professor Erlong, demanding to know what he taught Mo that led him to make such a poor choice. Professor Erlong begins trembling in fear, repeatedly claiming his innocence, and explains that Mo's original class selection was Berserker. Professor Lei grows even more frustrated, believing that Mo's decision to choose such an inferior class is equivalent to giving up his future. In his eyes, Mo must simply be confused. Amid the criticism, a student sitting in the front row quietly asks his friend whether the freelancer class is truly that bad, suggesting that Mo might have his own reasoning. The other student admits that he is not entirely sure and explains that the freelancer class's greatest advantage is its ability to use equipment and skills from all classes. In the early stages, freelancer class users can freely combine different skill sets to perfectly counter their opponents, granting them exceptional flexibility. However, the drawback is that this advantage only exists in the early game. In the mid and late stages, because freelancers cannot change classes and their skills remain at beginner levels, their damage output becomes insufficient. As a result, they often end up as easy targets for stronger opponents. While another student in the front row remarks that there is no future for someone whose class itself has no future. Meanwhile, inside the flame-cracked secret realm, Mo is extremely pleased with his decision, as he believes the freelancer class suits him perfectly. With the passive conversion system, the class's fatal weakness of low damage is fully compensated. By relying on his past life experience and skills, Mo can now completely unleash the true strength of the freelancer class. Curious, Mo clicks on the Spellbinder skill to read its description. The information panel states that Mo cannot learn skills from the academy or other institutions and can only acquire skills dropped by boss monsters. In return, he gains 2 additional attribute points per level. Furthermore, all secret realms he enters will default to the highest difficulty level, and the clearance rewards will be increased by 1 tier. Mo realizes that being unable to actively learn skills is actually perfect for him, as he has memorized every secret realm from Genesis, giving him an advantage that ordinary awakeners do not possess. He sincerely praises the Spellbinder skill, finding it exceptionally well suited to him. Since his top priorities are increasing passive damage and improving speed, Mo decides to upgrade his attributes. Sometime later, he encounters 2 green orcs standing guard and quickly defeats them. He finds the world increasingly fascinating, as raising attribute points does not merely change numerical values but results in real physical improvements, such as increased attack power, movement speed, and even critical hit rate. The green orcs drop a special item known as the Demon's Book. Noticing this, Mo picks it up and wonders whether the worn-out book is connected to a hidden quest. Upon opening it, he remarks that he had almost forgotten about this intriguing questline. Mo decides to collect all the related items to unlock the hidden quest before heading straight for the boss. With only 60 minutes remaining before the assessment ends, students gradually begin approaching the boss area, as defeating the boss will be the final challenge of this round. The only way to pass the test is to defeat the boss, Zoran, and touch the awakening stone behind it. One student finally reaches the boss encounter and believes that defeating Zoran will allow him to awaken his talent. Without much hesitation, he charges toward the boss. Sensing the intruder, Zoran begins casting his ultimate skill, Sacrifice, a powerful ability that deals sustained damage to opponents while randomly applying a weakening curse that reduces the attacker's base attributes. The student leaps into the air to attack Zoran, believing that once Zoran's buff wears off, he will be able to defeat the boss. Confident in his speed, he thinks he can take Zoran down quickly. However, before he can reach Zoran, the brown-haired boy is suddenly intercepted by the two guards protecting the boss. Trembling, he collapses to the ground while desperately trying to stand up, but by then, one of Zoran's guards is already right in front of him, ready to strike. Just as the attack is about to land, the student is teleported back to the assessment hall. Seeing this, the surrounding students are shocked to realize that even top-ranking students from the top 5 of their respective classes are failing the assessment. In previous years, the final assessment involved only a level 10 elite boss, but this year's secret realm requires at least a 5-person team to clear it successfully. Because of this, many spectators believe that this year's students are simply unlucky. Others comment that the final boss, Zoran, relies heavily on magic because it is vulnerable to close-range attacks. However, with its tough and resilient beast guards protecting it, no one can figure out how the boss is supposed to be defeated. Some students even reveal that this particular secret realm had been shelved for years due to its extreme difficulty, and that it was reactivated by the Education Commission for reasons unknown. At this moment, Mo finally reaches the area where the boss Zoran resides. He looks visibly exhausted, realizing that collecting all the items required to unlock the hidden quest has already consumed nearly an hour. Fortunately, he has not missed the chance to challenge the final boss. As soon as Zoran notices Mo, it immediately enters an enraged state. The two bodyguards charge straight toward Mo, while Zoran begins casting the sacrifice skill. Mo calmly remarks that although these thick-skinned beasts are fairly fast, they still appear slow to him. He easily dodges their attacks, then swiftly kicks both guards, sending them flying backward. Mo then rushes towards Zoran, who is still focused on casting the spell. He reasons that without the green-skinned beasts providing protection, Zoran has no way to evade attacks while channeling magic. The sacrifice skill is just about to be completed, but before it can activate, Mo delivers a powerful kick that launches Zoran into the air. Knowing he has no time to waste, Mo quickly switches to a ranged weapon and fires at Zoran. The cartridge empties as all 10 shots strike the target precisely, proving that Mo has not lost the exceptional aiming ability he earned in his previous life. After taking the full barrage, Zoran crashes to the ground, momentarily stunned. In response, the two bodyguards immediately enter a frenzied state. Seeing this, Mo switches weapons without hesitation. He notes that leveling up this skill has made combat far more convenient, as it prevents him from exposing any weaknesses. Mo targets the monster's legs with precise attacks. Under normal circumstances, a sweeping attack would only briefly unbalance an opponent, but by striking their weakest points, Mo causes their leg support to fail completely. At this point, Mo understands that the true difficulty of this secret realm lies in the coordination between the three monsters. Zoran's individual combat ability is not particularly high, but when combined with the fierce protection of the two beasts, it becomes extremely dangerous. As long as the guards can buy time for the sacrifice skill to be completed, the trio becomes nearly unstoppable. With the guards neutralized, Mo calmly approaches Zoran, who struggles unsuccessfully to stand. Without hesitation, Mo delivers a decisive strike, bringing the boss Zoran down in a single final move. Back in the assessment hall, Sun Ku and Jingjing step out of the portal after completing the boss mission. Jingjing confidently tells Sun Ku that it seems first place will belong to her this time. Sun Ku congratulates her calmly, admitting that the results of this examination are partly due to his own mistakes. He accepts the outcome without resentment. However, both of them are stunned when they look up at the scoreboard and realize that the name at the top of the rankings is not Jingjing's, but Hong's, who is only at level 7. They find this impossible to believe, as students must typically reach level 10 before they can change classes. Enraged, Jingjing questions whether she has actually lost to Hong, who is always ranked last. Her classmates quickly try to reassure her, insisting that first place will surely still be hers. Another student agrees, pointing out that Hong is only level 7 and claiming that there is no way he could defeat level 8 elite monsters. One of the students suggests that Hong must have cheated, which is why Director Zhang has already summoned him to the dean's office. Sun Ku also attempts to comfort Jingjing, remarking that someone from an ordinary class might resort to dishonest methods. Jingjing coldly agrees, stating that if Hong had cheated, it would not be surprising. Meanwhile, inside the dean's office, a silver-haired man slams his hand on the desk and interrogates Hong, demanding to know whether he cheated. Hong, terrified, firmly insists that he did not cheat and that he genuinely performed well in the secret realm. The man questioning him is Liu Yamen, Jiangqing's education commissioner, the designer of the secret realm examination, and a stage 3 awakener. Liu Yamen angrily accuses Hong of refusing to tell the truth, pointing out that when asked earlier about the boss's appearance, Hong knew nothing. Yet now, Hong is claiming that he passed the examination on his own. Liu Yamen glares at him and asks whether he truly wants to become the first student in Jiangqing College's history to be expelled. He adds that anyone who assisted Hong in cheating would also be thoroughly investigated and would not escape punishment. Hearing this, Hong becomes extremely frightened. He immediately bows and confesses that he was the one who repeatedly begged Mo for help. Hong insists that everything is his fault and pleads with Liu Yamen not to punish Mo. He explains that Mo told him that near the final stage, he would encounter a fork in the road. By continuing along the right-hand path, Hong could bypass most of the monsters and reach the boss from behind. Because the enemies have a fixed field of view, they would not actively notice him, allowing Hong to rush directly to the awakening stone as quickly as possible. Liu Yamen is deeply shocked, wondering whether their school has produced another hidden genius. He then asks Professor Lei about Mo's performance in this examination. Professor Lei reports that Mo has already set a historical record by rapidly reaching level 13, but has not yet returned from the secret realm. He then hands over the full examination recording to Liu Yamen. After reviewing the report, Liu Yamen is astonished and remarks that Mo's future appears limitless. Back in the assessment hall, more and more students emerge from the portal, congratulating Jingjing and Sun Ku for completing the assessment so quickly. Many students comment that it is no surprise they belong to the elite rocket class. Some students begin discussing Mo, who has reached level 13 but has yet to exit the realm. With only 15 minutes remaining until the assessment ends, most believe that despite Mo's high level, he will ultimately fail. Meanwhile, inside the flame-cracked secret realm, Mo stands before the awakening stone. He knows that the moment he touches it, the assessment will immediately end and he will be transported out of the realm. Because of this, Mo decides to wait a little longer and complete the hidden mission before touching the stone. Mo gathers all the required items for the hidden mission, including the demon's book, burning obsidian, withered wood, translucent crystal, broken sword. Once all 6 items are collected, the hidden boss is summoned. A powerful presence appears, demanding to know who dares disturb his slumber. Mo immediately recognizes the hidden great boss, Tamon. The hidden boss Tamon is a level 12 elite boss from the demon race's warrior class. Tamon notices Mo and asks if he is the one who disturbed his rest. He then drives his sword into the ground and declares that Mo will not leave alive. To avoid the attack, Mo instantly retreats as Tamon's strike creates a massive crater in the ground. Mo, realizing that it is no wonder Tamon is the hidden boss, his strength far surpasses even the combined power of Zoran and his 2 guards. Tamon's greatest advantage lies in his overwhelming strength, but his weakness is equally clear. His agility is severely lacking. As long as Mo can keep Tamon under control and restrict his movements, he is confident that he can deal with him. Mo deliberately taunts Tamon, mocking his clumsy movements and suggesting that he needs more training. Enraged, Tamon stomps forward and leaps into the air, declaring that Mo will be crushed. Just as Tamon is about to reach him, Mo activates his primary class skill, Sand Throw, causing Tamon to enter a blinded state. Sand Throw hurls a handful of sand toward the enemy. When it hits, the target suffers reduced accuracy and a limited field of vision for 3 seconds, prompting Mo to laugh lightly. Although Sand Throw is not a high-damage skill, it is extremely effective against slow and heavy opponents like Tamon, making it ideal for restricting movement. Shortly afterward, Tamon's passive ability activates, lasting for 1 second. Mo praises Tamon for truly deserving the title of Hidden Boss, but remarks that now it is his turn. He charges forward and deploys his primary equipment, the self-detonating robot. Mo first uses a side tackle to close the distance. Because Tamon is extremely heavy and cannot be knocked over easily, Mo follows up with an uppercut, forcing Tamon into a brief stunned state. In the next instant, Mo grabs Tamon by the horns, draws a dagger, and follows up with a precise strike. He then delivers a front kick, knocking Tamon onto the self-detonating robot and triggering the explosion. Tamon collapses to the ground, clearly overwhelmed, while Mo continues his assault with controlled dagger strikes. Mo plants his foot firmly against Tamon's horns and remarks that no matter how strong Tamon may be, as long as he remains fully restricted throughout the battle, he poses no threat. With the situation firmly under control, Mo prepares to finish the encounter using his machine gun. The students begin shouting accusations at Mo because he has not even awakened yet has somehow secured first place. They comment that the rankings are supposedly determined by whoever completes the examination first, so Mo being ranked first makes no sense to them. Many of them accuse Mo of cheating, insisting that it is the only possible explanation. Otherwise, they claim there is no way to explain why Mo still has not emerged. Perhaps he is simply too afraid to face the students and teachers. Either way, they are certain that once time runs out, everyone still inside the secret realm will be forcibly sent out. So it is only a matter of time. Overhearing this, Yemen calmly tells Professor Lei that those students know nothing. He is certain that Mo will come out before the examination ends. Professor Lei is shocked by this confidence, as it has been a long time since he has seen Commissioner Yemen so agitated. This reaction makes Professor Lei wonder why Yemen is so convinced that Mo will leave the secret realm in time. With only 59 seconds remaining in the examination, the scene shifts to the flame-cracked secret realm. The system congratulates Mo for defeating all bosses in the current secret realm and successfully triggering the Spellbinder class reward. As a result, the completion reward increases by 50%. Because Tamon was fully restricted under Mo's relentless assault, the experience gain for this battle rises to 200%, granting Mo over 30,000 experience points. Another system notification appears, congratulating Mo on leveling up to level 14. Mo feels pleased, realizing that all the effort he invested in completing the hidden mission was truly worthwhile. However, since Mo has already changed his class to freelancer and obtained the hidden Spellbinder skill, he wonders whether the Awakening Stone will still have any effect. Curious, Mo decides to touch it to find out. The moment Mo places his hand on the Awakening Stone, the system congratulates him on successfully passing the examination and reveals his awakened talent. A strange flow of mana surges through Mo, prompting the system to notify him that the transformation system has leveled up to level 2, allowing him to transform 2 additional skills. Since Mo possesses the Spellbinder class, he can now transform a total of 2 new skills. After calculating the final completion rewards, the system grants Mo a pair of boots of travel. As an additional reward for defeating the hidden boss, Missouri receives a primary book of critical hits, which increases his base critical hit rate by 20%. After reviewing the rewards, Mo feels extremely satisfied. With the ability to transform 2 more skills, he gladly accepts everything he has earned. Mo transforms the Gatling gun into a passive skill. From now on, whenever he uses any firearm to attack, there is a 20% chance of automatically firing 10 Gatling gun bullets with a guaranteed 100% hit rate. This certainty means Mo will save a great deal of effort in future battles and may even be capable of dealing with higher-level monsters. Normally, when fighting monsters of the same level, Mo's attributes, especially his accuracy and critical hit rate, are automatically suppressed, often causing him to be overwhelmed before securing victory. However, with this passive skill, as long as MO remains standing, he can gradually wear down even a high-level boss until it is defeated. While examining the system panel, MO notes that there is a limit to the number of transformations he can perform, so he must carefully select the most cost-effective skills to maximize his overall combat power. For his next transformation, MO chooses the airborne skill and converts it into a passive ability. As a result, wide sweep becomes a passive skill. When attacking, there is now a 10% chance to knock down all enemies within a 10-meter radius. Compared to airborne skills that consume large amounts of energy, wide sweep requires very little energy to activate. Its wide attack range allows it to affect multiple enemies at once, making it especially suitable for Mo's combat style. MO then instructs the system to display his current status window. The system reveals that Mo's race has changed to human. His attributes, strength, intelligence, and physical endurance, are all at 20, while his agility has increased to 38. He also possesses an awakened talent at level 2 with an SSS rank transformation. His passive skills include Ripple Slash, Gatling Gun, Weapon Switch, and Wide Sweep, all currently at level 1. Mo's combat power is now approaching 10,000. With this level of strength, once he sets foot on the mainland of the apocalypse, he will finally have a genuine chance to survive and compete. With everything settled, it is now time for MO to leave the flame-cracked secret realm. In the assessment hall, the teachers announce that the examination has officially ended and that the secret realm portal will soon close. Suddenly, however, the portal's color changes, shocking all the students. Moments later, MO walks out of the portal, stunning everyone as it becomes clear that he has successfully awakened and returned safely. Even Yaman is shocked by Mo's success and believes that Mo's future will be limitless. A brown-haired girl asks whether Mo's lack of visible reaction is the calm demeanor of a true powerhouse, but many students think otherwise. Surrounding students express their dissatisfaction with Mo's results and urge Commissioner Yaman to invalidate them. Seeing the commotion, Commissioner Yaman shouts for everyone to be silent. His overwhelming presence frightens the students, and in an instant, he appears behind Mo, startling him, and asks whether he truly passed the assessment. Mo is shocked, as he did not even sense Yaman approaching, but he maintains a calm expression and firmly confirms that he passed the examination. Hearing this, Yaman becomes very pleased and praises Mo as a heavenly genius who fully deserves first place. Sun Ku strongly disagrees and tells Yaman that there is clearly something wrong with Mo's results, arguing that there is no way someone who exited last could rank first. Jingjing also demands an explanation from the school, accusing Mo of cheating so openly. This fuels the crowd, and the students begin shouting, demanding proof and calling for Mo's expulsion. Yaman angrily scolds the students for being narrow-minded and explains that the reason Mo rose to first place is because he was the only examinee who successfully defeated the hidden boss. Mo defeated an additional level 12 boss, and Yaman questions whether they truly believe that someone else deserves first place instead. Jingjing and Sun Ku are shocked by the mention of a hidden boss. None of the other students have ever heard of such a boss, and it is not even recorded in their textbooks, leading them to question how Mo knew about it. Xue Qin, the homeroom teacher of the rocket class, observes the scene with displeasure. She believes that a weak student from the normal class taking first place is a blatant embarrassment to the rocket class. Convinced that Mo is lying, she decides to expose him publicly. She approaches Sun Ku and Jingjing and suggests that Mo explain to everyone how he discovered the method to summon the hidden boss. Mo coldly responds by asking why he should explain himself. Xue Qin becomes furious upon hearing this. Even the students are shocked, as Qin is the youngest homeroom teacher in the history of the rocket class, and Mo actually dared to defy her openly. The students whisper that Mo is in serious trouble, as Qin is known for her forceful personality and will not let this slide. Sun Ke looks at Professor Qin, grows furious, and draws his sword while shouting that Mo has gone too far. He demands to know who Mo thinks he is, speaking to a teacher in such a manner, and loudly declares that he will challenge Mo to a duel. Hearing this, the surrounding students cheer, urging Sun Ku to teach Mo a lesson and release their pent-up anger. They all hope Sun Ku, the the second-ranked student in the academy, will show Mo the true meaning of strength. Mo then coldly stares at Sun Ku and asks whether he is truly worthy of the duel. All the students go berserk upon hearing that their senior, Sun Ku, has challenged Mo to a duel. This means that Sun Ku is taking Mo seriously. Yet here is Mo, speaking as if he only knows how to be blunt. Seeing the students' reaction, Jingjing places her hand on Sun Ku's shoulder and tells Mo that since he is so confident, she will join forces with Sun Ku. She then asks whether together they would be worthy opponents for Mo. Hearing this, Mo turns to her and asks about her identity, leaving her shocked and embarrassed. Furious, she demands whether he truly doesn't know her. She is the belle of Jiangqing School. Mo casually shrugs, saying he has never heard of her. This angers Sun Ku even more, as Mo has openly dismissed a student from the prestigious rocket class. Determined to teach him a lesson, Sun Ku announces that he wants an arena duel against Mo. Professor Qin is startled because the arena is a prestigious battleground for awakeners, and refusing a duel would completely ruin one's reputation. If Mo had cheated to secure first place, he would certainly be no match for Sun Ku. Mo decides to accept the duel. Hearing this, Commissioner Yaman thinks that Mo's temper may be even fiercer than his own at a young age, and decides to use this duel to assess Mo's true strength. He sets up a large platform for the duel and encourages both to give their best with no regrets. Sun Ku confirms that he wants to see what Mo is capable of, but Mo interrupts, telling him to stop talking nonsense and not to waste his time. Mo climbs the platform and tells Sun Ku to start. Sun Ku, furious, begins radiating his aura. He climbs the platform using his pinnacle speed skill, an A-rank innate talent that temporarily increases movement and attack speed by 50%. Sun Ku then prepares another skill to attack Mo. The students immediately recognize it as the swordsman's signature skill, displacement, and are amazed to see that Sun Ku's innate talent elevates it to such a remarkable level. While circling Mo, Sun Ku remarks that Mo seems to be all talk and no skill. Charging at Mo's back with full force, Sun Ku attacks, but Mo effortlessly dodges and taunts him, asking if that's all he can do. The students are astonished that Mo actually anticipated the attack. Some doubt it, noting that Mo's only talent is an E-rank transformation, which only enhances agility. Sun Ku dismisses it as coincidence and claims that Mo will be unable to evade his strongest combo. Seeing this, Mo immediately activates his wide sweep skill to dodge, while Sun Ku uses the charge skill and attacks with his sword. Mo counters by blocking with an uppercut skill and his beginner sword. In midair, Mo sees Sun Ku using displacement to jump even higher and unleash plunging strike, declaring victory. The two clash, creating a massive explosion that makes everyone think Sun Ku has won and that Mo must have cheated in the exam. However, the truth is revealed when Sun Ku confirms that Mo has escaped unscathed from his pinnacle speed strike. In the very next moment, Mo kicks Sun Ku, shocking both Professor Qin and Commissioner Yaman. Yaman immediately realizes that his judgment of Mo's true strength was indeed correct. Then Mo activates the passive skill Ripple Slash, striking Sun Ku and sending him crashing to the ground in agony. Mo comments that Sun Ku's pinnacle speed is still far too slow compared to Mo's nearly 100 points of agility. All the students are stunned. They barely saw anything, and it was already over. They immediately realized that Sun Ku, despite being one of the best geniuses, was defeated in under 30 seconds. Standing confidently, Mo asks Jingjing if she still wants to fight. Startled, she lowers her gaze and admits that she is indeed unworthy to challenge him. All the students begin to respect Mo and apologize for previously accusing him of cheating. Their attitudes shift dramatically. They had been crushing Mo a moment ago, and now they are worshipping him. The students acknowledge that true professionals respect strength, and Mo fully deserves the title of the #1 genius of Jiangqing. Some girls even find Mo attractive and begin asking to exchange contact information. Even Jingjing's attitude changes. She hadn't expected Mo to be so powerful, and for some reason, she feels a strange attraction toward him. Commissioner Yaman observes Mo and realizes that, with his pinnacle reaction time and impeccable skill timing, Mo surpasses even Yaman at his peak in youth. This makes Yaman wonder if Mo could eventually become a legendary 5th-tier awakener. He concludes that Mo is a true genius and a promising talent. Thinking this, Yaman announces that, on behalf of the school administration, Mo will be specially awarded 1 million Blue Star currency for his outstanding performance. Additionally, Mo will receive the prestigious title of Heaven's Pride Student. The students are stunned, and even the teachers are taken aback. Based on their reactions, Mo realizes that this title is truly formidable and wonders if it could even be exchanged for money. Professor Lei explains that it has been over 20 years since a Heaven's Pride student has appeared in Jiangxing, and the previous recipient is already a 4th-tier professional. The average awakener might only reach 2nd tier in their lifetime, and only a few, like Commissioner Yaman and a select few, have reached the 3rd tier. Professor Qin immediately thinks that if Mo receives this title, he is destined to be at least a 4th-tier professional in the future. Excited, she approaches Mo, placing her hands on his shoulders and offering him a position as the class monitor of the rocket class, along with a month of private tutoring before the exams. Many students are dismayed and jealous, realizing they would give anything for the chance to receive her guidance. Mo, however, calmly removes her hands from his shoulders and declares that Professor Qin cannot teach him, and not just her, but no teacher in Jiangxing School can, because there are no instructors qualified to teach a freelancer class student.